Reality check, man, from your device, and I know it's unique one aromatic realistic TV. Anyway, today, my viewers and subscribers, it is a sad day. And when I say a sad day, it is really a sad day because when you look on my screen here, it's the Prime Minister of Jamaica with this guy who were captured in a footage beating a nurse like two grown-ass men having a fight. That's how a man deal with the nurse, you know. Pick up the nurse and lick down the nurse on her back. Spit in her face twice. Use her hand and hold down her head on the ground. And after him hold down her head on the ground, then him step in her face, you know, and walked away. The same man who is on my screen in a photograph with the Prime Minister of Jamaica. This man affiliate with the Jamaica Labour Party and is also a donor. Maybe a friend of the Prime Minister also. So, when you see the regular civilians is taking a leaf out of a politician book and say, if we see the politician do it and get away with it. What you mean? We must can do it and get away with it. Because if we say George Wright do it and George Wright get away with it. So we must can do it and get away with it. And that's the thing there in Jamaica. Lawmakers, you know, the people who elect, give them the power to go into the parliament, create rules and law, what the regular citizen have to abide by. Is the same people them turn around and broken the rules. Just think about it. But before we go into the meat of the matter, I see where Olivia Z Grange come out now. And she is stating that brute seen assaulting nurse in viral video must face consequence. A Z Grange said that. The female Z Grange said that. Remember, you know, Jamaica, it was one of his colleagues, you know, George Wright, who trash out a stool upon a woman, you know. Give the woman nothing but some fists and backs, you know. And when that was not enough, George Wright took up a stool and trash out upon the woman. And Z Grange and the whole of the woman them in the Jamaica Labour Party silent. The Jamaica Labour Party supporters them silent. The Jamaica Labour Party bloggers them silent. Agree and take side with George Wright. But no, Z Grange run out. Brute seen assaulting nurse in viral video must face consequence. But you no take side with George Wright. And say, go ahead. I want you to listen to the health minister now. And then I am going to play the health minister after. When he was in Central Westmoreland campaigning for George Wright to return as the standard bearer for the Jamaica Labour Party in the upcoming general election. And what Christopher Tufton has said then, and what he's saying now. Without any further ado, make the Matic play the tape, and then we will further continue to dissect it. Take it away.
The incident that took place involving our healthcare worker must be condemned as a heinous, brutal act. And we must ensure that the law takes its course and the perpetrators or perpetrator should be punished to the full extent of the law. At this point, the health system through the University Hospital of the West Indies is providing care to our healthcare worker, and I've reached out to her relatives and will continue to offer whatever support is necessary for her full and speedy recovery. In the meantime, I urge all of us to recognize the importance of our healthcare workers, the essential nature of the service they provide, the fact that they have to be on the roads at all hours, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and that we provide the support that is required of them to get to work on time and to help them to achieve the life-saving purpose for which they were trained and that they are committed to. Again, I condemn this act and hope that the consequences of those actions demonstrate in the full extent why this is unacceptable, while we continue to give support for the full recovery of our healthcare worker.
Tufton, it's not acceptable for the nurse and the doctors them to in at the hospital. Them not have medical supply, CT scan, burner unit, MRI, beds, linen, shorter pay. I want to take all of those things to consideration. But that's what he said then. And what he say now, the heinous, brutal act. And we must ensure that the law take its course and the perpetrator should be punished to the full extent of the law. The brutal act, and we must ensure that the law take its course and the perpetrator should be punished. The perpetrator should be punished to the full extent of the law. Listen what he have to say about George right now. Take it away.
But I put it to you, labor rights, and I put it to you today in the constituency of Central Westmoreland. If George Wright has made peace with his God and those he has transgressed against, who are we to judge George Wright? But I put it to you, labor rights, and I put it to you today in the constituency of Central Westmoreland. If George Wright has made peace with his God and those he has transgressed against, who are we to judge George Wright?
This is what we can take as a nation. We cannot take the double standard as a nation. When it is a member of the Jamaica Labour Party and the Andrew Holness administration, it is okay to turn a blind eye and give George Wright a pass. But when it's a civilian, you must give them the full brunt of the law. This is why we have to get rid of the Jamaica Labour Party. There is no double standard in this. A woman beater is just a woman beater. You violate the law, you violate the law. It no matter who you be. None of we no bigger than the law. You commit an act. You face your crime, you go spend your time. But the Jamaica Labour Party no believe in that. So them have George Wright still on them ticket. After we see George Wright in that viral video like this one. But George Wright is still and the Jamaica Labour Party ticket for Central Westmoreland running in the upcoming election. So listen what Christopher Tufton tell the Labour right them say. But I put it to you today, Labour rights. And I put it to you today in the constituency of Central Westmoreland. If George Wright has made peace with his God and those he has transgressed against, who are we to judge George Wright? The words of Christopher Tufton. I put it to you today, Labour rights. And I put it to you today in the constituency of Central Westmoreland. That if George Wright has made peace with his God and those he has transgressed against, who are we to judge George Wright? So George Wright make it right within God then, and whosoever he was in that confrontation with. So who are we, the Jamaican people, to judge George Wright? But it's the same Christopher Tufton now. He's saying that the incident that took place involving our healthcare worker must be condemned as heinous, brutal act. And we must ensure that the law took its course and the perpetrator should be punished to the full extent of the law. He stated, George Wright, if George Wright has made peace with his God, if George Wright has made peace with his God and those he has transgressed against, who are we to judge George Wright? But at the same time, Tufton now, the incident that took place involving one of our healthcare workers must be condemned as heinous and a brutal act. And we must ensure that the law took its course and the perpetrator should be punished to the full extent of the law. So why you are going to punish this perpetrator for the full extent of the law, but George Wright make peace with his God, and who are we to judge him? It's the same crime. George Wright give this woman nothing but some fists, and when it did not please George Wright, he take a stool and trash out on the woman. We see this guy beating down this lady, back out in gun, lift her up, fling her down on her back, use her hand, brace down her head to the ground, walk off and step in her face and spit in her face twice. They are both woman beaters. They are both woman beaters. So if this guy should be punished to the full extent of the law, George Wright should be punished to the full extent of the law. Because he's an MP, because he's a member of the anti-wellness administration, he must not punish when it is the same crime. They are both woman beaters. George Wright beat that woman. This guy beat this woman. None of them is right. They both should face the full blunt of the law. So one's supposed to face the full blunt of the law. But if one of them made peace with his God and those he has transgressed against, who are we to judge him? Make the thing make some sense, no man. Make the thing make some sense. Z Grange, Christopher Tufton, make this make some sense. Z Grange, brute seen assaulting nurse in viral video must face consequence. So Z Grange, George Wright not supposed to face consequence. George Wright not beat down a woman same way, man. But George Wright is still on the Jamaica Labour Party ticket. The whole of no endorse George Wright, man. And say George Wright will come back and run in this upcoming election. The double standard, we not going to take Jamaica. We have to vote them out. Them things I make, we have to vote them out, Jamaica. These are lawmakers who are supposed to set example for the country to follow. And when the country's lawmaker is breaking the law, the citizens are going to take a page out of them book. Talk to with Christopher Tufton, man. Christopher Tufton tell the people in central Westmoreland, you know, in George Wright constituency, you know. So if George Wright has made peace with his God and those he has made the transgress against, who are we to judge George Wright? But at the same time, in this incident, him take a different stand. Because what? That man they are no MP. When you break the law and violate, brother, you have to face the same punishment like anybody else. We don't care, we no matter who you be. So this is sure we say. What them want to show we say, politician can do anything and get away with it. And that Christopher Tufton and Z Grange tell we, you know. So at the end of the day, we have to vote them out and make them know say this now work around here so again. And what you say, brother, and what we say. The law not just go for the citizen. The law also go for the politicians. Alright, that's how the thing set. Alright, that's how the thing set. As heinous brutal act. And we must ensure that the law take its course. The perpetrator should be punished to the full extent of the law. George Wright should fully punish to the extent of the law, because George Wright and the Jamaica Labour Party is not above the law. Alright, that's why them viewers and subscribers. Anyway, stay tuned to Aromatic Realistic TV. Like and share and follow the movement over YouTube. You don't know anytime we shoot a bullseye, clear as crystal, the raw and diluted truth. Because we're not there so we confuse the mass. We're there here to make a difference. So our people can understand and comprehend. And know that in the next few months, we have a decision to make. And that decision is a pivotal one. Because the one thing, you know, is either we go rescue Jamaica from the devious, the vicious anti-wellness administration, or we are going to put Jamaica back on the path to recovery. I continue to tell them as the signature word never change. Heart of love. Until then, Uno and the Matic will chat again. Peace and love. The man is out.